Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm beginning to make a batch of videos for Algebra 1 Goal 1 since one of my students has finally achieved a pretty good math is in here. Hello, hooray, let me help you and make you be successful. So what we're going to be doing is algebra topics are now going to be broken down into families. Algebra 1 Goal 1 is a little bit big. There are kind of 9 families for us to go through and that's going to take a while, but having said that, I want to walk you through these one by one, make you comfortable with them as you start going through them and building up your percentages. That way nothing will surprise you when you start doing the DSA stuff. So first things first, they begin with giving us some pretty basic stuff. They don't even actually give you any decimal or any variables as yet. They want to make sure you're comfortable with some very basic order of operations. So for example, exponents is a big thing. Exponents means repeated multiplication. So what you're going to do, let me write that down. Repeated multiplication. So this tells me how many times I'm multiplying something. So this is negative 6 times negative 6. Negative times a negative is a positive. 6 times 6 is 36. This one over here, that means we're going to repeat it 3 times. So negative 8 times negative 8 times negative 8. A negative times a negative. Again, you always want to do your sign first, so you don't get lost, and then you're going to do the numbers with an N, Ms. Dubois. Numbers second. So we have negative times a negative is a positive, positive times a negative is a negative. Okay, 8 times 8 is 64. What is 64 times 8? 512. All right, I'm going to do it again here. So this is going to be negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Let's see how good the human calculator is. Negative times a negative is a positive. Positive times a negative is a negative. Negative times a positive is a positive. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. All right, next up we have 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36, and what is 36 times 6? Let's see here, 216. I actually knew that. Next up we have, we got a copy and paste, so we already know this one is 81, and now we have 5 times 5 times 5. That's going to be 125. Negative 6 squared is negative 6 times negative 6. Negative times a negative is a positive. 6 times 6 is 36. Now, negative 9 cubed, that's negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9. Negative times a negative is a positive. Positive times a negative is a negative. 9 times 9 is 81, and what is 81 times 9? 729. There we go. Next up, we're going to give you, now that we're comfortable with some basics, we're going to give you some variables. What this means is we're going to have something called substitution. What does this mean? To substitute, when you have a substitute teacher, that means you have a teacher come in to replace a teacher because, they're off home sick or maybe they're out saving the world. Who knows? So if substitution means replace, what we're going to replace, Ms. Dubois, learn how to write. Replace. What that then means is every time we see an M, we get to replace it with the value that we were given, which in this case is negative 4. So, and then plus 3. From here, we are going to order of operations the hooey out of this. You can see I'm getting ahead of myself. You always go down, parentheses, negative 4. Okay, next is exponents, negative 4, which we just did. Negative 4 times negative 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. And then plus 3 doesn't have any of the early stuff, so we just put it down. And now we can do addition and subtraction. So 16 and 3 is 19 minus 24. That's going to be negative 5 is our answer. This one, same thing again. We're going to have 5 squared minus 7 times 5 plus 1. Since c equals 5, c gets replaced with the 5. 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 1. 25 minus 35 is negative 10 plus 1. Negative 9 is going to be our answer. And now we replace again. 6 squared minus 6 times 6 plus 7. So 36 minus 36 plus 7, which is just going to be 7. The next thing they're going to do for the basics is they want to get you used to something called they want to get you used to something called like terms. That's one of the big things to do in Algebra 1. What that means is if you have the same variable and the same exponent, this last part, the same exponent, that's going to come later, and most especially it will come back and bite you in Algebra 2. For now, they're doing a really soft introduction. They want you to get used to the same variable, that you can treat them the same. So here I have 4 C's, and then I want to take away 6 C's. Well, if I take away, that's basically 4 minus 6. 4 minus 6, those are different numbers, or that's different signs, so that means subtraction. So 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 is my bigger number. That's the sign that dominates. And then C drops down, negative 2C. 7 minus 9, this is subtraction. 9 is the bigger number. C drops down. Oh, same answer. Huh, funny that. This one, 11 and negative 11C minus 6C. Same sign, which means we add them. Negative is the sign that dominates, and C. Okay? And then here, again, exponents, they're the same exponents. You want to get comfortable with that. So U squared is still going to be there. And then negative 5 and 10, those are opposite signs, so we're going to subtract. 10 is the sign that dominates, which means this is positive 5u squared. So those are some of the basics that we're going to be looking at for Algebra 1, Goal 1. Next up, we're going to start talking a little bit about equations, and again, we're going to take them in very small incremental steps, get you comfortable with them first before we start getting into slightly more complicated stuff. That's everything for this video. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. See you in the next one.